I welcome you all to the next session of marketing and salesmanship. In this session, we will be dealing with, is a salesmanship a science or an art? What is science? Science is nothing but a body of systematic knowledge. When calling anything as a science, it must be able to build up a body of law or principles. The characteristics and the behavior of fact and analyzed systematically, and law of performed science is a system of facts and principles concerning a subject. Science is defined as an accepted knowledge that has been systemized and formulated with reference to the discovery or operation of general law. The principle or the set of generalization universally accepted are called as law of science. This is the knowledge of research, discovery, and experience, and the principles are universally accepted. Salesmanship is a systematically arranged and specialized knowledge. It has its own rules and principles. Salesmanship is a science based on human psychology. A salesman has to study the psychology of the consumer. He must have knowledge about the behavior. He must have knowledge about the different characteristics of goods which he has to sell. In such, he requires a systematic knowledge of those goods as a science. Salesmanship tries to follow certain basic principles, approach, demonstrations, and conclusion, conducting a sales, etc. All this has to be followed systematically. Thus, we may say that salesmanship is a science. What is an art? On the other hand, art is making of knowledge more effective by applying skill. Art is skill. Art is a practical science. Art is a knock for doing something which is acquired by study, practice, and special experience. If science is knowledge, then art is action. Then, by science, we know a thing, by art, we do that things. And art is skill in perform, required by studies, observation, and experience. Art is the practical science of skills. It is the knock for doing something which is acquired by study and practice. Science makes a man perfect, and art makes a man exact. Art is difficult to learn. It can be studied easily by the person who has the skill. A salesman must possess the skill, and it can be acquired and developed. Even consumers in an individual, but individuals are different, and a salesman has to diagnose the consumer by efficient dealing of a course by using his skills. A salesman must have necessary knowledge and skills to face the various types of consumers. Exactly, human behavior is unpredictable, uncontrollable, and ununderstandable. Therefore, we can say that salesmanship is an art. Salesmanship, thus, the ship signifies skills or art, that is, sales art or sales skills. The salesman must thoroughly master the science and the techniques of skills. Salesmanship is neither a science nor an art, but a combination of both. A salesmanship must have inborn talent and must possess real interest in his profession. The art requires patient practice and application of correct method. Therefore, salesmanship is art science based. Salesmanship is one of the most important marketing activity in most organizations. The scope for selling has increased substantially during the past few decades due to the growth in the industry. Passive selling skills are being used not only by the organization whose objective is to earn profit, but also by non-profit organization. Because of this varied nature, selling has developed into a specialized area of management. Before we get into the discussion, selling is an art or science. First important thing, that who is a salesperson? The most suitable answer to this question is everyone is a salesperson. We are already presenting our ideas, our opinions, ourselves in every conversation that we have. If we are presenting our feeling, it is usually done in such a way as to solicit a desired response. Example, happiness emphasizes sadness, compassion, etc. We have been doing this all of our lives, and it is a natural part of our daily routine. Once this is understood, the thought of having to sell something to someone should be a little less frightened. The art of salesmanship. As art is science applied, it involves actual doing. It is the practical application of knowledge or natural ability. One might have a broad knowledge of the science of medicine and possess or develop by indifferent ability in applying it. It may be said, speaking generally, that knowledge of a science is gained by study, proficiency in an art by practice. A knowledge of selling principles alone is not sufficient. Actual practice in their application is necessary. But a knowledge of principle will enable one to get his selling ability into action more quickly and make of him a better salesman than he otherwise would hope to be. The art of salesmanship may be defined as the ability to apply fundamental selling principles to the circumstances of individual selling situations. The science of salesmanship. Salesmanship is definitely an art, but art is an applied science. It is the practical application of knowledge or natural ability. It is the possibility to make a study of the sales process and the experiences and method of successful salesmen. Because of the many unmeasurable human elements involved, it will always remain to some degree an extent science. Therefore, salesmanship includes both the knowledge of fundamental selling principles and the ability to apply them in the actual making of sales. The the comprehends both the science and the art. Thus, we can say that salesmanship is not only an art but also an science. We cannot say that salesmanship एक सिर्फ art है या सिर्फ science है. No, it is a combination of arts plus science because it requires certain skills plus it requires a systematic drafting of plan too. Clear to it? If you have any doubts and queries, please pin me on the email ID provided to you by the college. Thank you all. Thank you. Be at home. Be safe.